This is the true horror story of the plastic surgeon who took faces. Los Angeles glittered with neon and deceit. Billboards stretched along Sunset Boulevard, flashing white smiles and impossible promises, eternal youth, flawless beauty, rebirth. It was a city where everyone wanted to be someone else, where mirrors judged harder than gods. 1. The patient. Clara Jennings stood outside a sleek tower of glass and steel. On its polished facade gleamed gold letters. Dr. Adrian Gray, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgery. Inside, the air smelled of disinfectant, rose powder, and faint terror. The receptionist smiled too wide, like her face had forgotten how to move naturally. Clara hadn't come for vanity. After a car accident, a jagged scar had split her left cheek, a reminder she could never hide completely. A friend, a model, had whispered about Gray's miracles. He changes lives, she'd said. You go in broken and come out beautiful. Maybe too beautiful. When Clara met him, Dr. Gray was everything his legend promised, tall, silver-haired, eyes the color of surgical steel. He spoke softly, his voice a lullaby soaked in anesthesia. You shouldn't be ashamed of your scar, Miss Jennings, he said, gently removing her sunglasses. But I understand. You want the mirror to forget the pain. A week later, Clara signed the consent forms. The clinic at night. The operation was scheduled for 3 in the morning. Fewer distractions, Dr. Gray had explained with a calm smile. She arrived trembling, but hopeful, ready to shed the last trace of her old self. The operating room was sterile, humming with machines. Fluorescent light glared off steel instruments. As the anesthesia crept through her veins, the last thing she saw was the gleam in Gray's eyes above his mask. When she awoke, the world was dim and throbbing. The room was not an operating theater but a private recovery suite. On the walls hung framed portraits of women, faces too perfect, too symmetrical, their eyes just a little too still. Clara reached for her face, feeling the layers of bandage, the dull ache beneath. On a side table, a small round mirror gleamed. Hands shaking, she unwrapped herself. Her scar was gone. Her skin smooth, flawless, almost unreal. But something about the reflection was wrong. The eyes. They were calm, too calm. Not hers. The door opened. Dr. Gray entered, his expression serene. Beautiful, isn't it? Is that me? She whispered. You are reborn, he murmured, fingertips brushing her new skin. His touch was cold. Your face no longer remembers pain. That night, she couldn't sleep. From the hallway came faint footsteps. The whisper of gauze. And somewhere beyond the wall, a low, muffled sob. The basement. By the 3rd day, she decided to leave. But her door was locked. Her phone showed no signal. The window, barred from the outside. She wandered through the hallway, heart racing. The scent of antiseptic was stronger here, mixed with something metallic. A door ahead bore a brass plate, storage, restricted. It wasn't locked. Inside, the air was freezing. Glass tanks lined the walls, lit from beneath with a soft, eerie glow. Floating inside them were faces. Human faces, peeled away, preserved, expressionless. Each one tagged with neat handwriting, Patient 07. Patient 14. Patient 21. Her breath caught in her throat. One of the faces, she recognized it. The faint scar across the cheek. Her old face. Beautiful, isn't it? Dr. Gray's voice came from behind her. He stood in the doorway, calm as ever. I keep them, he said, almost tenderly. To remember how imperfection gives birth to art. Clara backed away, trembling. He stepped forward, syringe glinting in his hand. You didn't think it was over, did you, Miss Jennings? You're part of my collection now. The others. She woke again under harsh white light. The sterile scent pressed on her lungs. Her face was bandaged, again. But this time, it felt wrong. Heavy. Artificial. There were voices. Whispering. Not from the room, but from under it. Help us. He took our faces. Their faint, hollow cries seeped through the floor. Dr. Gray appeared, immaculate as always. You've become something special now, he said softly. He handed her the mirror. The reflection staring back wasn't Clara. The eyes, the mouth, the entire face belonged to another woman. What did you do to me? Perfection doesn't belong to one body, he said. It transcends flesh. Then, slowly, he lifted a hand to his own cheek, and peeled it away. The skin came off like latex, revealing not bone, but pulsing gray tissue beneath. Shapeless. Alive. I'm not a surgeon, he whispered. I'm a sculptor. Flesh is my clay. You're insane. Insanity, he smiled, is merely resistance to evolution. Darkness swallowed her again. The escape. Clara awoke strapped to a gurney, the hum of machines around her. Somewhere nearby, water dripped rhythmically. She tore the four from her arm and stumbled to her feet. The hallway was dim, flickering. Doors on either side hung open, revealing half-empty rooms, scattered instruments, bloodied gauze. At the end, a stairwell. She pushed through it, descending into the bowels of the clinic. The basement was worse than hell. Rows of metal lockers, one half open. Inside, bodies. Skinless, faceless, catalogued. A clipboard on the wall listed numbers and notes in Dr. Gray's neat handwriting. Face number 7, rejected. Face number 8, integration successful. Subject stable. Sleep no longer required. She turned a page, and froze. Her name. Clara Jennings. Beside it, a date of death. Today. Panic surged. She ran. Sirens blared. Alarms echoed. Behind her, heavy footsteps descended the stairs. She burst into a mirrored gallery, an endless hall of reflections. Hundreds of her own faces stared back. Each one slightly different, a wider smile, a sadder gaze, an empty stare. Then she saw someone else in the glass. A woman standing among the reflections. Pale. Silent. Familiar. Who are you? Clara whispered. I was the first, the woman said, voice flat. He kept changing us. Searching for perfection. Until you. Footsteps approached. Dr. Gray entered, holding something wrapped in gauze, another face. Fresh. Clara, he said gently, don't resist. Perfection must be complete. The other woman lunged at him, shrieking, but Gray slashed her throat with a scalpel. Clara grabbed a metal tray and swung it. The blow landed squarely on his head. He fell, and the mask of his face slipped sideways, tearing loose. Underneath, gray matter pulsed and oozed like wet clay. He smiled through the ruin. You can't live without me, Clara. You'll fall apart. She didn't wait. She ran. Through the halls, past the alarms, into the breaking dawn. Outside, the city was waking. Ambulance lights flashed red against her blood-streaked gown. The world felt unreal, but she was free. The mirror. A week later, Clara sat in her apartment, staring at her reflection. The face staring back was flawless. Smooth. Beautiful. But sometimes, just sometimes, the skin seemed to ripple, like something moving beneath. One morning, she noticed a faint seam along her cheek. It hadn't been there yesterday. Clear fluid oozed from the line. Her eyes in the mirror looked misaligned. Only slightly, but enough to make her stomach twist. The TV droned in the background. Prominent plastic surgeon Dr. Adrian Gray was found dead in his Los Angeles clinic. Authorities say the body was identified with difficulty, his face was missing. Clara switched off the TV. Silence filled the room. Slowly, she turned to the mirror. In the reflection, Dr. Gray was smiling. Her mouth curved without her permission. "I told you," his voice whispered from within her head. "Perfection lives on in transition. Now, we are one." She screamed, but the sound that came out wasn't hers. Epilogue. A month later, a new cosmetic clinic opened on Melrose Avenue. The sign gleamed in gold. Dr. C. Gray, Aesthetic Perfection. Behind the reception desk stood a young woman with flawless skin and cold, gray eyes. She greeted every client with the same perfect smile. And those who glanced at the mirrors in the lobby swore they saw their reflection shift. Ever so slightly. Drop of blood, the end drop of blood.